Story 1. I don't think I would regret what I did not see. There is just too much in the world. I think I would regret what I failed to appreciate. Story 2. Getting to have children is important to me. After trying to conceive for over a year and experiencing one devastating miscarriage, not becoming a mother and having that relationship would be heartbreaking. I want to be a mom so badly that it hurts, and I truly hope I get the chance to achieve that in my lifetime, one way or another. Story 3. I wish I had lived long enough to see the movement soundly defeated, the Republican Party decline like the Whigs, and everyone have access to health care and a living wage. Story 4. The US is actually getting a functioning healthcare system, not the current for-profit one that yearns for your money. Story 5. Another Pittsburgh Pirates World Series win. I am 55 and have a feeling it will never happen in the time I have left. Story 6. My parents are becoming grandparents. I am young, but one of the things I can't wait to see is how they will be as grandparents. I just know they will be amazing. Story 7. Landing a human on another planet may not be something I fully support at this time, as we have too much to fix here on Earth. However, I believe that steps need to be taken to start working toward the future. Story 8. Not being there for my dogs when they go is difficult. I do not look forward to it, but the thought of missing a second of their all too short lives makes me very sad. My playful answer is winds of winter, but I fear I may never see it anyway. Story 9. Humans on Mars. Assuming I live an average human lifespan, it is almost certainly happening in my lifetime. Story 10. My son is growing up and getting married. I just realized that I had pushed him to the back of my mind because there was nothing I could do to find him again, nor could he find me. Eventually, I ended up dating a man who was a copy of him and marrying another. Story 11. The Bills winning a Super Bowl has to happen sometime, right? I've only been waiting for over 45 years. Story 12. 2 points. 1. The peak of human technological progress. The moment when we understand the most we, as a species, will ever know about how the universe works. Story 13. Our children are grown, but we have 2 grandchildren whom we have practically raised. Not being there to see them graduate and help them when they need it would be a significant disappointment. Story 14. Never witnessing my children become who they are meant to be, their laughter, struggles, and the lives they will build without me. Missing humanity's turning points. Curing diseases we have accepted as incurable, ending systemic injustices instead of just debating them, and watching the Earth thrive rather than survive. Selfishly, I do not know if we became interplanetary explorers or simply optimized advertisements, but I hope my small acts, kindness, votes, raised fists, help someone else's future blossom. Story 15. My own happiness. I have to hold onto the belief that things will improve, even if they have not improved yet. Story 16. I am estranged from my 2 sons, and one of them has 3 children I do not get to see. I pray for healing one day so that I can see my sons and other grandchildren again before I die. Story 17. I would be disappointed not to see America course correct from this nightmare we are living through and witness the Make America Great Again movement relegated to the scrap heap of history where it belongs. Story 18. Donald Trump died, I guess? Or did the Marvel Cinematic Universe collapse? Henry Cavill's Warhammer show. It's more about what I haven't done than what I haven't seen. I have a large collection of Warhammer and Lego that I want to build and play with before I pass away. Story 19. Bungee jumping or skydiving. I can't afford to do either of these and doubt I will ever get to try them, especially as I get older. Story 20. I have been online friends with a woman in Japan for 5 years, and I would be sad if I didn't get to meet her. I also hope to see the Northern Lights. Story 21. The end of One Piece. I am fortunate in life as I find contentment in what I do have. It may not be a lot, but it is enough for me, aside from some minor goals. However, I need to finish that particular journey. Story 22. I am not sure. That is a good question. Perhaps Europe before I die and maybe Cuba. I feel like I have seen a lot. I saw the eclipse a few times, once in my childhood and last year. I have seen the mountains, the dam in Las Vegas, the beaches of California, the sands of Utah, and worked with many wonderful children. I had a good ex-girlfriend, which was invaluable, but recently, I fell in love with a beautiful woman who I almost could have been with. I held her hands and cuddled with her in that basement. I love her more than words can express. I also had a remarkable mentor who changed my life and made me feel understood. Additionally, I had a therapist who taught me so much about myself. She was the first who made the effort. It was a two-way relationship, and that was significant. Even though I do not have much at this moment, except for my dog, I have had many good experiences. If I were to die today, I would be content. I do not know if I can meet someone else besides the woman I love. I just cannot see it. However, I am open, or at least trying to be. I am ready to go home, but I know there is more to come. I am uncertain about what that will be, but as I said, I am content to die today. I just do not know if I can have more beautiful things and then lose them, which makes my heart ache. Story 23. I have traveled extensively across Europe and North and South America, but I have never visited any Asian countries. My father was in Singapore for work for several months, and he absolutely loved it. I specifically want to see gardens by the bay there. The pictures my father showed me from 10 years ago were stunning, and I would love to witness the growth since then with my own eyes. This place holds a special significance for me because a part of my father is embedded in the garden itself. He was standing on one of the bridges, looking down at one of the trees when his sunglasses fell off and landed in the vines on the trunk of that tree. It was too high for anyone to reach, and I assume they are still there today. My father passed away in 2019, and I do not communicate with my mother, so I will never get to see those pictures again as they are on his phone. I would like to take some of my own. Story 24. Nothing really. I'm good. I'm thankful for what I have and what I've experienced. While I still have many goals, I am happy enough as is. One day at a time. I would feel awful to make those who love me sad, though. Story 25. I have already gone to the top of the Eiffel Tower and seen the Mona Lisa painting at the Louvre. I feel accomplished, having done what I always wanted to do before I die. Nothing compares to that experience. I am not afraid of death. Story 26. Travel more, paint more, and cook more interesting dishes. I feel the loss of time with my adult children, as most have moved away, and I miss them terribly. Story 27. Visit Paris during Fashion Week to enjoy dining experiences. Imagine not living long enough to witness science reviving a dinosaur. Picture having artificial intelligence robots that work for you, allowing you the freedom to pursue whatever interests you. Story 28. I would be very disappointed if I wasn't there to pin wings on my 21-year-old pilot granddaughter when she is hired by an airline. Story 29. I would miss the sound of music, nature, and springtime. However, I wouldn't miss much about this human experience. Story 30. I have already done and seen more than I ever thought I would, but seeing one of my novels adapted to the big screen would make my life complete. Story 31. I have a 2-day-old newborn and a 4-year-old son. Not seeing them grow up is what I am most disappointed about when I die. Story 32. I decided yesterday that I want to start base jumping. I would be disappointed if I didn't get to do that. I also want to see many countries. Story 33. Nothing, because I would be dead. However, I have taught myself to never regret anything. Everything is good, even the bad experiences. Story 34. I would be disappointed to have missed out on seeing myself happy, watching my beautiful children grow up, and just barely missing out on meeting my goals. Story 35. The obvious things about kids and family are important, but I really want to know what was in the Queen's letter to Australia. Story 36. The release of my 14-year-old project to the public may happen soon. I'm not waiting until my project is 18 to release it. That would stop it from being a creative endeavor and turn it into something harmful. Story 37. Having my own children and owning a highly successful cafe. Being married to what I believe is the most beautiful woman I have ever met. Possibly buying a home at the age of 30. Story 38. I will not get to see Halley's Comet for the second time in my life. I saw it in 1986 and need to wait until 2061. Story 39. Married and living as a fully transitioned man. I at least want a beard before I die. Story 40. The new final destination. I have given up on humanity doing good things, but I really want to see that movie. Story 41. My son is growing up. He is only 10. I can't imagine leaving him alone. My father went to jail when I was around that age. I had no father figure as a teenager. I don't want that for him. I would miss watching him grow up. Story 42. Really how the whole story ends, but also the demise of those who are causing problems right now. Story 43. The best version of myself. I have many great influences, but I have also fallen short of the standard. Additionally, the Falcons winning a Super Bowl. Story 44. I was disappointed by the total eclipse last year due to clouds. It was a significant event. I would love to see Betelgeuse go supernova. Story 45. Space. I really want to go into outer space. I will die without having been there. I know that, but I don't like it. Story 46. My son is growing up. That, and seeing people stop being so awful to one another, gives me hope. Of course, the last one will probably never happen anyway, but still. Story 47. Probably London. I've wanted to go since I was a child, and I've never been. I'm going for the first time this year, so it would be disappointing to die today. I also have many books on my to-be-read list. I would be disappointed if I never get to read the books I've wanted to read for years, but just haven't had the time. I'm starting to think I'll never have the time anyway. Story 48. The true crime documentary made about me includes all the shocking details of my grim demise. Story 49. I dislike that we are trying to figure out how to leave the planet and explore the universe at such a young age technologically. It would be fascinating to witness the technology of the distant future. Story 50. The world. I have never been anywhere but the United States, part of Canada, and a small part of Mexico. I would come back from the dead with a vengeance just to visit Spain, Germany, Brazil, Japan, Thailand, Egypt, Sweden, or countless other countries. I need to see the world. Story 51. Getting married, having children, and watching them grow into adulthood allows you to see who they become in life and helps shape the future. Story 52. Someone already said it, but my son is getting older. He's 2 years old and is the light of my life. I love watching him grow each day. Story 53. Grady from Practical Engineering will someday release an intriguing video about the extensive water supply and drainage infrastructure that prevents a certain creep's gravesite from being washed away in a continuous flood. Story 54. Unidentified flying objects. Please tell us the truth. I witnessed the moon landing, read Chariots of the Gods, and watched Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Star Wars, and Star Trek. I remember the Challenger and Columbia disasters, and I know the work of Giorgio Tsoukalos and Luis Elizondo, as well as SpaceX and the Senate hearings on unidentified aerial phenomena. We can handle the truth. Story 55. My dad never saw me with someone I loved. That won't happen any day since he's gone. But it's always something that bothers me. Also, a National Basketball Association finals game. Story 56. I have tickets to see Eric Clapton in September, so I would be a little disappointed if I don't make it until then. Story 57. I may not have the chance to see certain friends from my past one last time, especially the Japanese exchange student I attended high school with. He has visited a couple of times, and I am planning to visit him in Japan this year or next. Other than that, I have no significant regrets in my life. I hope all of my friends and family know that I love them, and I have shown it in my own way as much as I could, even to those I don't speak to anymore. This includes the friend I distanced myself from about 3 or 4 years ago. I decided not to take him to court. Story 58. My daughter Madison. They left when she was 11. As those tail lights slowly dimmed in the darkness, I sunk into the street and felt like I truly died that night. I have never been the same. Thank you, Kim. Story 59. I would be sad if I didn't get to be a mother on this earth, but it wouldn't matter because I would be with my mom and my angel babies. Story 60. Sentimental answer. Younger family members growing up. Perhaps my most genuine answer is getting to have a live-in artificial intelligence robot to spend time with me and assist with my household chores. Story 61. My husband has become a father, and I am expecting our son to thrive. I am pregnant, so if I were to go out now, my baby would go with me. Story 62. Nothing that is part of the key to dying is that you let go of those physical world things like disappointment. Story 63. I would miss my daughter growing up into a beautiful, compassionate, loving, hilarious, tall, creative, kind human being. Story 64. Honestly, I believe I have seen everything worth the pain of existing to see. If I can get a hug from Kenny Omega, I am done. Story 65. I have been to the Grand Canyon twice. I want to go down and stay at Phantom Ranch. At this point, it is at the top of my bucket list. Story 66. I have big plans to take a multi-week cross-country road trip across America. I really want to get that done. Story 67. I regret never seeing my child grow up and build their life. I also wish I could have experienced true peace, emotional well-being, and financial independence in my life. Story 68. I would miss seeing all the wonderful things my children have planned for themselves as independent adults. I want to be there for them when life gets tough. Story 69. Finding the right person, getting married, and living together is important. I likely have many years ahead, so it could still happen, but I'm not getting any younger. Story 70. Besides my husband and my child, I want to see a view of Earth from space, interact with pandas in person, pet and hug a cow, and visit all the waterfalls on Earth. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.